They're curious. Anybody who's had some sort of Christian experience or grazing with Christian people or encounters or late night flipping through the TV where they've heard some preacher talking in the middle of the night or driving and heard some person like Doug Batchelor on the radio as they're traveling across the country for a few minutes, something is happening in their hearts right now and God is calling to them and they are getting curious about what is in the Bible. And when we send out something like this that says, study your Bible, find some answers, people get it. We'll call her Betty for right now. And she takes off this little card. You're familiar with these. We just have this giant piece of paper with lots of color and some words on it because we accidentally printed that. And it came out gigantic. And we said, well, great mistake. Let's mail out some cards. And we mailed them out and they worked pretty well. So they go to people's homes, they catch people's attention pretty quickly. Either they go in the trash pretty quickly or they look a little longer at them. We found that a few more people look at them. That's what we found. A few more people look at them just because it's bigger. If my wife's going to the mail, I'll never see that card. But if I'm going to the mail, I'm going to sign up for that card. And that's the way it's going to work. Every house is a little different. So Betty gets it. She, I don't know what's going on tonight. Can you be my clicker? Oh, there it goes. So she fills out the card and puts it in her mailbox. And then it travels all the way to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Anybody ever been to Chattanooga? Well, a couple of us. All right. Has anybody went and toured our new It Is Written facility? You've been driven by? It's a beautiful building. You'd think we were loaded. Beautiful building. It cost us less to be in that building than it does to rent that horrible storefront we were renting down the street. There's a reason we wanted to get out of that storefront and get into a building that was our own. So a big difference. We wanted to be more faithful with what was being donated to us. The card travels all the way there, and we sort it out, and we scan those cards. Every card that comes in, we figure out what church it belongs to. The way we figure that out is there's a code printed on every card. And that code belongs only to one church. And that's how we know where it goes. If this card's mailed in from California, but it has Wadina's code on it, it comes to Wadena. So if you try to sign up your brother-in-law in LA, I just want you to know this isn't going to his house. It's coming back to you. Okay? So we scan every card too, and that's really important to point out. The devil will try to get rid of every attempt to reach into someone's life who's seeking God. And so we don't want them to get lost in the mail. So we scan everyone and get a digital copy right there at It Is Written before we ever mail this out to make sure in case something happens. And we send that card right here to your church. And while you're waiting for that, the process takes from the time I turn in the information, it takes about 5 or 6 weeks till it lands right here in the church. What happens in that time is they print on the big thing, the address of all the homes, and they print on the code on all those, and that takes time. The printers they take time to do what they do. And then we get it to the post office, and the post office takes it out, and that takes a little bit of time. So while that's happening, please pray. Just so you know, I think I gave you some suggestions of routes. Pray for your community. They're receiving the Great Controversy. We want them to receive some Bible study requests. I'm going to pay for the ones, 1,000 of these. If you want to do more, go for it. But I'm going to pay for 1,000 of them out of my budget. So, because I believe in this. Believe in it big time. So I solicited It Is Written until they gave me some money. And I was persistent. Believe me, I'm persistent. If nothing else. Get ready. Don't just pray. Get ready. Because as you pray for people, hearts will be open. But we want to be ready as a team. So, well, that's what we're doing this weekend. We're going to be completely ready. Monday evening, everybody who is here throughout the weekend is going to walk out completely 100% confident and ready to meet someone, whether it's through one of these Bible study requests, Whether it's through contacting you, if you put any information with the Great Controversy at all to be contacted in any way, whether it's a friend or family member, a cousin, a coworker, a neighbor, no matter who it is, you're going to be ready and confident to either respond to a request or respond to their request in person, or to offer Bible studies and give those Bible studies and know that those Bible studies will be something that benefits their life in a very special way. You already have Bible studies, right? If you don't have Bible studies, that's the supplies you need. So if you don't have Bible studies to share the Bible with, those could be it as written Bible studies. If you've got amazing facts, good. You got Voice of Prophecy? Great. You got Discover? Excellent. Of course, I'm going to recommend one above the other because I like it as written Bible studies. I just do. That's just the way that is. Become familiar with whatever lesson you're using. That's important. Lewis, we put these together, didn't we? And they all have a Bible study in them?
No, the Bible studies I didn't put them together.
Okay, that's okay. You're going to get some Bible studies from us while we're here this weekend. Oh, please be familiar with them. I've just stuck my foot in my mouth a few times thinking the Amazing Facts lesson is just like the Discover lesson, and they're not in any way. And it'll happen. So become familiar with them. Video orientation, you don't need it. You got me and Lewis here this weekend, but if you have any questions, you can always call us and continue to pray and trust God for what He's doing in your community as you are faithfully reaching out to this community in every way you can. I'm so excited about all the things you're doing, because you're not just doing mailing things out in the mail. You're not just doing online. You're also loving human beings wherever you go. You are setting a beautiful image of Christ wherever you go. And you're standing out in this community. And people are noticing a difference between you and just anybody else. And God is going to bless that. People are going to be drawn to you. The cards begin to arrive. If I mail out of 1,000, you'll probably get 5 to 10 cards back. I know you're like, ooh, is that all? Let me rephrase this. Normal cards get 1 per 1,000. On an excellent day, you get 2 per 1,000. On a hallelujah, cartwheels down the aisle of the church day, you get 3 per 1,000. So if you get 5 per 1,000, that's some flying kicks in the, I don't know. I don't even know what that's going to look like. But that's super celebration time. That's 5 people that said, I want Bible studies. And we average 10, but I don't want to build any hopes up, okay? Because we average 10. That means sometimes it's less and sometimes it's way more. We've had 70 per 1,000. We don't want that. I'm just going to say it right now. We don't want. You know why? How many can you take a week? Not 70. And right here we have our group, right? And so if each of us got to carry out of here 10 people a week to go, that's a heavy load. And we want something that we can do. That's why we're going to pray to God and trust Him to give us what we can handle. Give us what we can handle. When you follow these up, you always go with a partner. It doesn't matter what kind of Bible work we're talking about. We always go with a partner. Do you have your partner? All right. You're in. You're in. We have partners. If you don't have a partner, find one. Talk to somebody. You don't need to pick the person who doesn't want to do it. Okay? It's not about twisting people's arms and guilt-tripping them into it. It's about, if there's a young person that needs some mentorship and is kind of interested in sharing their faith but not sure how, grab a hold of them. Young people love this. Young people that were, not too young. When I was 28 and in the church, I was on fire. Or should I say 30 and coming into the church, I was on fire. But I had no idea how to do anything. Would have loved someone to grab a hold of me and show me how to do it. So bring somebody along. It can be your spouse, or it can just be a friend. Dress for success. What's business casual? Everybody's got a different image right now in your mind of what business casual is. It's clean and neat, okay? Let's be clean and neat. I like jeans. I'm just going to tell you what, I like jeans. I go door to door in jeans all the time. I'm not against jeans, but you might be. And if you're against jeans, that's okay. These pants are all weather, outdoor activity. They stretch, they move, they look half dressed and half ready to climb a mountain. We're good. They work. You can put on some slacks, but they don't need to be, slacks. But if that's what you like, go for it. Let me stop you at the tie. No tie, please. You don't need your suit jacket. You don't need your church hat, ladies. You don't need your church gloves. Does anyone here have church gloves? Okay. It's been a while since I've been to a church where the ladies were all wearing their church gloves and the deacons and ushers had theirs as well. But in some churches, that's normal. You got the vest and the cufflinks and everything. That's way over the top. Way over the top to follow up on a card. You know your community. You know your neighbors. You know what's acceptable when you show up at someone's house. You know what would be too much. So just be clean and neat. Take lesson number 1. It's somewhere. Here's the card. And here's a lesson number 1. When I say take a lesson number 1, what I really mean to say is take 4 lesson number 1s and the card. Why might we need more than one of these? Because I'm hoping for more than one person in that house. I'm hoping when Betty opens the door, she mentions her husband was also interested, and I'm like, guess what I got, Betty? That's what I'm hoping for. And so when we're talking about this today, I'm going to use one just for convenience, but what I'm meaning is take several with you. Because the reality is, you can have a whole household behind that door who's been waiting for this. All right, and that's a reality in life. And I'll play a video in just a moment to bring that up. These, I actually have a few here, and I could bring Roger a whole box of, if you want. I've got, I think you're working on like 6,000. You and I could meet somewhere. I could bring you 6,000 cards to slip into those great controversies, like that, and I could give those to you for free. Okay, we're working together, right? I've got some here with me, but I've got about 30,000 of these at the house. We can meet.
Do those have the code?
They have a code from me. And so they just come and I send them right to you. And they don't take 6 weeks because there's no printer. There's no going to the post office. It's just going right to their home. So it's 1 to 2 weeks before you get it back. Nope, postage paid.
What I mean is, so that you know that it's here.
I'm going to know because it's going to be Wadena area. That's how I'm going to know. And I know we're working together, so I know it's not. That's how I know. All right. Park on the street, don't hang out. And thank you for asking that question. What was your name, by the way? Stephen. Thank you for asking that question. It was an excellent question. Don't park on the street do park on the street. Almost messed that up. We're about to set everybody angry at us parking in their driveways. Anybody ever park in your driveway?
Mm-mm. I got a half-mile driveway.
Oh, we have to park in your driveway. If I've had people park in my driveway, people meeting me there to do work at my house who've called me and I've said, I'm on my way, I'll be there in a couple minutes, and they park in my driveway. And then I pull up and they're in my driveway, in my parking spot, and I got to wait on them to get out of my driveway. I'm already angry with them. They haven't even worked on my house and I don't even want to talk to them. Take some deep breath. Right? You can see. Don't linger in the car, because if you're hanging out in a car in anyone's neighborhood, you are a stalker and a suspect. You are highly sus if you're a young person. You are suspect. Or highly sus, as some of the younger ones say. But that's a reality. you're there scoping out the neighborhood to rob all the houses. But if you get out of the car right away and start walking, oh, look, they're just walking around the neighborhood. Nothing wrong there. I don't know why that happens, but that's the way we think because we've watched too much TV. So they only hang out in cars. All right. Walk on the sidewalk, not the grass. Does anyone here care if someone walks on your grass? Okay, most of us don't. There might be someone who does. I'm thinking someone does. Because there were... Yeah, that's right. So if it's someone who cares and you walked on their grass, you've ruined your chances of coming back. And so it's just saying, hey, I don't know your preference, but I'm going to respect that your preference could be this, and so I'm just going to take the walking path, whatever that looks like, stepping stone, sidewalk, driveway, whatever it is. Be quiet and calm. You know, when I get these cards and I go with my friend Lewis here to follow these up, I get a little nervous. Anybody ever get nervous following up any Bibles? I get nervous and my stomach gets little butterflies in it. And when I get nervous, I get a little jokey. I start wanting to cut up a little bit and poke and have fun and talk a little louder to cover up the nerves. It's just something I start doing. Well, when I'm walking to the house and I start making a big fuss and cutting up and laughing and joking and poking and I need Lewis to reach over and just kind of whack me a little bit and get me to be quiet. Shh. Because if they're inside watching me joke around, then they're valuing this as not that important. Before I ever get to the door, before they ever know what I have, I've already told them what it's worth. Not a whole lot. Because I've treated this experience as less. And though we're not saying that, no, we're not communicating that, but we are accidentally, and people read into it. And so I prefer someone who helps me be quiet and calm as my partner. Please wear your mask or your face shield when you go to homes. I know you may not like face shields or masks. You may be against them. That's perfectly fine. We're not having that discussion. We're having the discussion that says, how do they feel about the face shield or the mask behind that door? As a stranger they don't know is coming to their door. How do they feel about it in that case? And if they want you to have it and you do not have it, they don't want this. I guarantee it. Because you've come into their area without respecting how they felt. This has nothing to do with how we feel, but everything to do with keeping the door open for them receiving this. That's all it has to do with. You can take it off as soon as you walk away. In fact, you probably will because that's comfortable, especially outside getting some air. Wear your name tag. I've brought lanyards for you. You'll each get a lanyard. And I do have some name tags, though they're not filled out, but I can email you name tags that you can fill out on your computer and then print out, and they come out like this with your name in white. I personally only put my last name's on there, but when I print them for anybody else, I only put first name, just in case someone cares. I like to use my first name. But I got Jack Phillips on here, and everyone can know my last name, and I'm not too worried about it because I don't live in the community. But if you do, you may want to leave your last name off if you care. When you get to the door, you've got this card, you've got that, you've got your partner. You've been praying. Wait a second. Did we pray as a team? When did we pray before we got to the door? That's right. Thank you, Roger. Before we ever left the home base, because we're not hanging out in the car when we pull up, because we're not going to stay there and pray because that would be weird. So we prayed before we ever left the home. We're prayed up, and now we're up to the door. We've been praying as we're walking up to the door. Now we're at the door. We ring the doorbell. Let me flip this. Let's knock on the door first. Don't worry. We'll have knocking tomorrow. And Lewis is going to do this with a little difference, and it's going to do knocking first. And I want to talk about knocking first for a reason. What happens if you ring a doorbell and someone has just got their 3-month-old to sleep? You wake them up, and how do they feel about you? Not happy. You know why I say this? Because I've done it a whole bunch of times. This is just my experience speaking. I knock the door first. Oh, let me find a good place to knock. I don't want to pound on the beautiful, but we want to do some pounding. You got to knock where people can hear you. If they're in the back room, if the TV's on, but you can't do, because who knocks like that? The cops knock like that. Everybody's running out the back door. People are climbing in the attic. People are in the bathroom dumping things down the toilet, and everybody's freaking out. And then it's just you. So we want to knock strong, but not knock aggressive. Okay? So I like to put a little tune to my knock. Loud, but at least a little approachable. And then I'm going to wait. We need to wait for, how long does it take for a person to get off of the chair, walk across the house, open the front door? Really? About a minute. Depends on the age. Depends where their living area is located. Might be located right next to the front door. Might be in the back of the house. I like to wait about 30 seconds. Kind of a 1 minute to bring it in the middle a little bit. Wait a little bit. While you're waiting for 30 seconds, quietly, what are you doing? Praying. And looking at the window. And looking at the people. And if someone looks out the window, wave at them. And smile, I seen you. And if they look at the people, you know because it went dark and light. As soon as it goes dark, start smiling and waving at the people. I know you're in there. Most people will then open the door. Not all people. They're like, who's this person waving at me? But most people will. And you had something before we move forward. Yes.
On the card, we have a different address, but we have a telephone.
If they put it. Let me address that in just a second, because that's a very good question. Very good question. Take that step back, wait that 30 seconds, listen. Do you hear creaking as well? You want to listen. Did you hear the floor move? Then that tells you someone's coming that way. You don't need to get back on knocking again. Just give them some time to get there. Listen for the dog barking. If the dogs start barking, everybody in the house knows the door went. Okay, that you don't need to get knocking again. They heard the dog. They heard the alert. Waiting a little bit, and then, if nothing after about 30 seconds, ring the doorbell. Let's take that step back between you and the door. That's not about social distancing, though it is about respect. It is about comfort. And it just goes into social distancing today. But we were doing that long before. Because when they open the door, you don't want to be standing in their face. Especially if you're a male. If you're a male and you're a large male, might I suggest you step down to the first step? I do it. Because, man, you got two big guys standing on the front porch and you open the door and we're too close and we're too there. If I can get down to eye level or below eye level of the other person, it always goes way better. So I just work on doing that. I had a friend who was about 6'3". When he would be on the front porch, he'd do this. That dude would be curtsying over there as he's talking to him. 6'3", 320 pounds, curtsying on the front porch. Got more Bible studies than anybody I ever met. That's him. I wasn't doing that. I'll stand on the front step. I'm good over here. I'll lean against the rail. All right, take a step back and pray the whole time that God directs this visit. Now, one of you is the speaker, and one of you is the prayer partner. There were two of you. One is going to be talking and one is praying. Make your mind up before you get up there. You don't want both of you trying to talk and both of you throwing things out there. Just let one person lead, the other person prays, and go forward. The door opens up. Oh, it actually happened. It actually happened. The door opened up. I can't believe it. because part of me was hoping it wouldn't open up and we just go get back in the car and drive away. Oh man, Betty wasn't home. That's a real feeling I have. That's me being honest with you. Oh, the door opens. Hold on a second. Your door opens and there's a stranger standing on your front porch. What are your thoughts? What do you want? What's this guy want? What does he want? What do you want? What do you want? I got two. Who are you and what do you want? Who are you and what do you want? Why are you here on my front porch? You trying to sell me a new roof? You trying to sell me new windows? Are you trying to get me signed up for a new internet service? I might be interested. What's your prices? You're here. You're Jehovah's Witness? Excellent. You want to come inside? You're Mormon? Excellent. You want to come inside? I love visitors. Anybody's welcome. Come on in. I love it. I love visitors. Most don't want to come in, but that's okay. I really like them coming anyways. But I do want to know why in the world they're there. First thing I want to know. So remember, that's what people want to know. Don't waste any time telling them what they want to know. Don't waste any time. As soon as that door opens, you want to start speaking. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Probably shouldn't be morning. I'm just going to say 8 o'clock visits don't go over well. Good afternoon. Make sure as you talk that you talk slowly. Don't be like, hello, my name is Jackson. This is my friend. We're here. We're following up on this card. Here you go. Thank you very much. Talk with a smile and make sure it's clear. Try not to mumble. I do have a tendency to mumble sometimes, especially if I'm tired. You'll hear it. It gets really bad. Let them know who you are and why you are there on their porch. How'd I know what to have on the slide? Because it isn't just us who want that. It's everybody. All over the country have those same desires to know. So do the people behind the door. So let them know who you are. Let them know why you're there. That's what you want to do it. Say it quickly. Don't wait for them to ask. Don't start shaking hands. How's your day going, man? They don't know who you are. You're freaking them out. Get there, and if you want to shake hands afterward, you go for it. Most people today are a little unsure of the handshake. Unless they've got their vaccination, and they don't really care too much. You can shake hands, give me a big hug, let's go for it. I won't get sick, but, I don't know about you. There you go. So this is what we want to say. This is what we put together. It is written from years of following up these sort of requests and going out to people's homes. And this is what we put together, and it works very well. What we're going to talk about in this section is just what to give you the best experience possible. Now, you might have your own things you like to say and your own ways of doing things. That's great. I'm not going to put down what you're doing. What I am going to say is we've just given you the tools, and we're giving you the techniques for the best experience possible. That's what we're going for with you. So, good afternoon. My name is Jack, and this is my friend Lewis. So right off the bat, I've told him who we are. Now I'm going to tell him who I'm with. We're the local It Is Written representatives. Now, this isn't how you show them the name tag. And it's not even like this. It's just, kind of move your hands toward the center of your body for a second. And people will glance right at where your hands are going. We're responding to this request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. I'm going to say whatever name's here. Sometimes that's Miss Brown. Sometimes it's Mrs. Brown. Sometimes it's Mrs. Betty Brown. Sometimes it's Mr. Brown. I'm just going to say whatever's here. Sometimes it just says Betty Brown. No Miss or Mrs. It just says Betty Brown. I'm going to say I'm responding to a request for Betty Brown. Are you Betty Brown? Or are you Betty? Important thing going on here is doesn't like it on this one. Is the question at the end, are you Mrs. Brown? Very important, because up until that point, all you've done was say things, and now you're inviting her to respond. You're inviting her into the communication. That question at the end is very important. So this is what it looks like. I'll do it again. Hi, my name's Jack. This is my friend Lewis. And we're the local It Is Written representatives. What are you, by the way? Yes, you are the local It Is Written representatives. Did you know that It Is Written is a ministry of the NAD? Did you know that? We're actually a ministry of the North America Division. We're not a separate ministry. We actually belong to the church. And so, you're also part of the NAD. We are in ministry together. We're in this together. And we're working together. We've partnered together. You're getting It Is Written training, and we're all in this. So when you go out there, you are It Is Written representatives. You are the local It Is Written representative right here in the community. And don't worry about feel like you're lying, because you're not. You're speaking 100% truth. And we're responding to this request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Brown? Good afternoon. My name's Jack, and this is my friend Lewis. You can call him friend. You can call her wife. You can call him husband. You can say this is my partner. Whatever you like. That's my friend Lewis. And we are we jumped ahead. And we are the local It Is Written representatives, and we're responding to this request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Brown? You see what happened when I put that card out there? Where did you start looking? Everybody looked right down at the card. What a joy it is when they quit looking at you and start looking at something else. You better believe the card comes right out for her, and she likes to take it. I'm going to tell you, most Miss Bettys like to reach out and take that card out of your hand, and then they're like this, and no longer looking at me. And my heart goes, oh. And so this is a fun tool of mine. All right, so let's say this together. Good afternoon. My name is Jack, and this is my friend Lewis. And we are the local It Is Written representatives. And we are responding to this request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Brown? Okay, let's try that again. Let's say that one line again. There was one line we had a little trouble with. We are the local It Is Written representatives. Let's say that again together. We are the local It Is Written representatives. Excellent job. All right, let's say it one more time. New shoes, they stuck to the ground. Good afternoon. My name is Jack. This is my friend Lewis. And we're the local It Is Written representatives. And we are responding to this request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Brown? All right. We're going to practice one more thing here. All right. Let's say it together, and let's all put our arm out. Now, we've all got to do it together. Okay? We're going to do it together. So if one of us forgets, we'll do it again. So, all right. Good afternoon. My name is Jack. This is my friend Lewis. And we're the local It Is Written representatives. And we are responding to this request. Come on with me. Sent in by Miss Betty Brown. A couple of us. Okay, let's do it again. And we are responding to this request. Come with me, please. Come with me. It's okay. Come with me. I see you. Just put it out there with me. And we're responding to this request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Brown? Excellent. That extension, remember, you are a footstep back. If you're like this ain't working. Get it out there for her. Put it out there for her. It's very important. It's going to help you be more successful in this trip. Just that little move right there. Because this is her card with her name on it and her handwriting. And she's going to take it from you. So what should you have done when you got this card? We'll pray, and what happens when she takes it? How do we find her again? Take a picture of it. Get a picture as soon as you get it. What happens if it gets lost after you get it? Take a picture of it as soon as it goes into your hand. They get lost under car seats all the time. Take a picture of it. You don't care if she takes it. You don't care if she takes it. You're not going to be, hey, give me the card back, please. We don't need that scene. We don't need that scene. Just let her have it. All right. So let's turn to someone near us. Let's turn to someone near us, and let's practice this because we're about to have a lot of fun with this. Let's practice this with our partners. Each take a turn doing it. And if your partner is, getting stuck, point them to the screen. It's okay to look at the screen. Oh. All right, how'd that go for me? All right. Great job. I hope you're having fun with that. Let's add to it. Let's add to it. Stay near your partner. Let's add to it. All right. Next thing we want to do, we want to continue moving from there. Because she's going to respond with a yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Today, we're just going to say she's yes all the way. She says yes to everything we ask her. Hand her that lesson immediately. As soon as she says, yes, I am, this needs to be going out to her hand. You don't have to stab her. You can bring it up nicely to her. You can take it out to her, but make sure you're getting it to her right where she can reach out and grab it. Don't hold it back here. We're not playing Tyrannosaurus Rex games. This is put that arm all the way out. Give it to her. Once it's in her hand from then on. It never comes back to your hand. No matter what. It's hers. And pray that the Lord is using it. He can use many things. Let her know why you loved it. Well, she can do whatever she likes with it. It's hers. It's her study. It's her study. She requested it. She can do whatever she likes. We just want to make sure she got it. All right. And we will be handling some questions, but not today. We'll talk about that tomorrow afternoon for a little bit. We'll bring up a few of those. But she needs to know what it means to you. Have you ever thought about what the study over Daniel 2, King Nebuchadnezzar's dream, means to you? Because if you want Betty to look at this, you need to know what it means to you. Because you want to share with her what it means to you. Is it a history lesson for you? Then it's a history lesson for you. For me, I used to struggle with a whole lot of stress and anxiety and worry. I would have trouble sleeping. I would have trouble going through the day without being concerned about everything going around me. And Betty, I looked at this lesson, and it gave me hope. And it gave me someone to trust with all of these things that were stressing me out and causing anxiety in my life. And I found freedom I didn't really know I could have. And so I love this lesson. And I know you're going to enjoy it as well. That lesson should mean something to you. That's what it means to me. Whatever it means to you. If you're like, hey, I liked it because it had cool pictures, then that's what it means to you. But I want to tell you, people in this world around us are anxious, and they're concerned, and they're stressed, and they're fed up, and they're just ready to move on with life, and they need some sort of hope. And however you address this, if you can find something that it means to you that's relevant for what's going on in life in any way, then it's going to mean something to her. And she's more likely to open this up and look at it. And even if not, she knows you brought her hope. You brought her answers to things going on in her life. And it's a big deal. So this part, I'm not like, hey, I loved it, you're going to love it too. I mean, that has no heart in it. Put a little heart in why you loved it. You can introduce it. You can say, hey, it's got questions with Bible verses. And you just go look up those verses and you'll find the answers to the questions that are here. You're going to love it. You don't have to go into like, it's about this king who lived in this time and he had this dream and it had these dates and kingdoms. You don't have, not that kind of introduction. Just kind of a how to use it a little bit. And then, after you've told her why you like it, what it means to you, ask her this question. Is this a good time to bring you another lesson next week? Is this a good time next week to bring you another lesson? What's the question? Is this a good time? Next week to bring you another lesson. Oh, please. Don't forget next week in that. And don't forget, bring another lesson. Because if you say, is this a good time next week? For what? Oh, is this a good time to bring another lesson? When? Right now? You got another one in the car? Yeah, I'm here. Go on, bring it up. Just be clear, and it'll be very helpful. She's going to say yes. Today, it's always yes. It's always yes today. This is a perfect time. I'm so glad that you have brought this at this time because this is when I'm always home and I'm always free. You found me at the perfect time. For most people, that's the case. You found them at a time that's acceptable. Otherwise, if they were at work, they're at work, unless they have some sort of nursing position or rotating schedule, then they'll let you know. But this is going to work for most people. At that point, confirm the day and confirm the time. What's today? What's today?
Friday.
Friday. Okay. Friday, and it is now 7 o'clock. Friday at 7 next week works for you?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'll see you next week with another lesson. And then we move on our way. All right. Let's try this part. Handing the lesson. What I'd like you to do is tell your partner what this lesson means to you. Tell them that's why you love it. And let them know that you believe they'll love it as well. Practice saying that, and it may take you a moment to process what it means to you. Take about a minute before we start. I'll give you a minute, and then we're going to do this with our partner. And it's going to be very helpful because that is what makes people really want to look at it. It makes a big difference. All right, go ahead and take a moment to think about it, and I'll give you a heads up in a minute. There's a... Do what? Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the book or the Bible studies? Okay. Oh. I don't think I've seen that one. All right. Go ahead and share with your friend. Share with your partner. If you don't have a partner, Roger, I don't know your name, sir. I'm sorry. Jimmy? All right, Jimmy has joined us. He might need a partner as well. You can come be my partner, Jimmy, if you don't mind. I don't know my password. We're talking about lesson over Daniel. All righty. I hope you have both had time to do that with your partner. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. Oh, y'all are still going? I'm sorry. All right. Now it's time to have a little fun. You ready? Okay. You'll never believe who's come to visit us at the Wadena Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's Miss Betty Brown. She's here. And she's been waiting on her Bible study request to come back to her. And so we're going to go visit her at her door. Right here. And on the screen will be our introduction. And then once we say it, we'll go over to a reminder of that, of why we loved it, introduction of the lesson, and setting up that return visit. And we'll be practicing and focusing on the wording. Is this a good time next week? Not, can I come back next week? Please don't ask that question. Because then they say no, and it's all over. Just like that, done. All right. So, who's going first? Am I going first? Who would like to go first? Don't go that way. Who would like to go first? Bring your partner on down. I'll step aside. You have the handheld mic right over there, and if you would speak into the handheld mic, that would be helpful. Whoever's knocking on the door, I have your lesson. I have your card for you.
So we need another handheld mic.
Maybe. I'm going to give you mine. Here you go. Oops. Man, what? I sure am. Things are happening, man. All right. And don't worry. I'm not going to sneak attack. I mean, what kind of person do you think I am? All right, who would like to come first? Just bring your partner on down. Lewis is nice. Let me believe you. He's going to say, what's he going to say every time? Yes. Yes. Will he ask any questions? No. He will say yes and ask no questions. He's not going to have a violent dog. He's not going to have kids growing on. He's just going to be Miss Betty, who's happy to see you. I'll keep him from giving you a hug. I'll hold him back. Promise? I promise. And Dave, you have the mic, Lewis. For that.
Yes, I do. And the mic, where? Over here. Here you go, gentlemen. And you're on live camera. Sounds good.
You want to speak?
This is the funnest part, just so you know, if you're out watching, this is the funnest part.
You can go ahead and speak into that. I'm just watching and praying, right?
Okay.
Make sure you knock real good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go to the knock.
Knock.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Good one.
Hello.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Stephen. This is my friend, Augie. We are the local It Is Written representatives, and we are responding to the request sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Betty Brown?
Yes.
Right to him. Give him the lesson. The lesson.
Okay.
Give him the lesson.
Nope.
Right away.
Take that back. You don't take that back.
No, never take this back.
I'm sorry. Give it to him.
The lesson.
Hand him the lesson.
Okay.
There you go.
There's the first lesson.
That's too bad.
I'm sorry. It happened so fast. How'd you feel about it? I'm sorry. Let's start over.
It's okay.
If I snuck up beside him, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back.
Oh my goodness. All right, knock again. Knock.
Again.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Stephen. This is my friend Augie.
Mm-hmm.
We are the local It Is Written representatives. We are responding to the request you sent. Was sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Betty Brown?
Yes, thank you.
This is the lesson we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are sharing, and we found it very interesting. It's very insightful of what's happened in that time and compared to today. I think you'd be finding it very interesting yourself. So, can we introduce the lesson? Is this? Sorry.
Yeah, you can read that.
Is this a good time next week to bring another lesson for you?
Yes.
Very good. I thank you. And I'll confirm the date, Friday, 7 p.m.
That'll be fine.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Brown.
Thank you. All right.
Great job.
What is the part really where in there where it asks you to introduce the lesson? What are you doing there?
Very good question. All you're doing is just kind of opening up and showing, just kind of explaining. It has questions and it has a Bible verse. You go to the Bible verse, you'll find the answer to the question. That's it. It's very simple.
Can we do that on the follow-up too? We're not sitting down doing a Bible study with them.
No, not yet,
Not yet.
but hopefully.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Augie, and this is my friend Stephen. We're the local It Is Written representatives, and we're responding to this request that was sent in by Mrs. Betty Brown. Are you Miss Betty Brown?
Why, yes.
Well, here's, we brought your first Bible lesson. This Bible lesson, we found it very interesting. I think you're going to find it very interesting. It discusses a scene in Daniel of a large statue, and as you go through it, you'll see questions and answers, or questions that you can answer, and I'm sure that by the end of it, you'll be very blessed. Is this a good time to stop next week?
Yes. What would you be stopping for?
That we might bring you another lesson?
Oh, okay.
It's Friday, 7 o'clock. Is that a good time?
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. Hope to see you then.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Good job.
All right, way to go.
Can you confirm just the date or was the
Day of the week.
you doing anything
Just the day of the week, like Friday, I'll be back. So, who would like to go next? Look, I'll be sitting in the back. It'll be okay.
He promises.
Pick on everybody that sits in the back.
Well, that's the group I usually is the back, because I like the back. Except in church, because then I get distracted. But in school, I always like the back because I like to be distracted.
I do have a question about the other because the parties whose house we're going to, on the card, is their telephone number as well?
Yes, there is. And I'll answer that while the next group is deciding they're coming forward. All right. There's a phone number and email. Might I suggest you never call that phone number? Yeah. If you want a quick no, that's the best way to get it. The best way to get a quick no, you're just a scam calling them and they don't know you and they'll tell you no. And then when you show up anyway, they're like, oh, thanks for bringing it out.
So why is that phone number on there?
We may need it, and I'll bring it up in just a moment. We may need it. I gotta head to the back here.
Something I did want to say, when you see that this part right here, you want to show the name always on, make sure you don't show this back part.
Okay.
Make sure that you're showing the part that has the name on it. Yes. Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Daryl, and this is my friend Joy, and we're the local It Is Written representatives, and we're responding to this card that was sent in by Miss Betty Brown. Are you Miss Betty Brown?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
And we're going to give you this first lesson. It's from the book of Daniel in the Bible, and we found it to be very interesting because Daniel is a pretty hard book to understand by a lot of people, myself included. And it includes a lot of good Bible questions and a lot of good, even better Bible answers. So if you're looking to be a student of the Bible, you'll learn a lot of good information from this lesson. Is this a good time next Friday to come back and give you another lesson?
Yes.
Okay. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Have a great week.
You too.
Okay.
All right. Good job.
Very good, very good. You know what Dale did in there? Did y'all notice what he did? You put the date in the question. Is this a good time next Friday? You just threw it in there. Great job. Great job.
Do 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 do. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Joy, and this is my partner Daryl, and we are from the local It Is Written representative. We're responding to this card we got from you, from Miss Betty Brown. Is that you? Are you Miss Betty Brown?
Yes.
We also brought you the first lesson. It is about Daniel.
Wow.
And it's a little hard to understand, but the questions are in there in the Bible text. Well, if you read that, will answer the questions for you. Is this a good time, Friday, next week, to come and visit you at about 7?
And what you're gonna do?
We bring you the second lesson.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
We will see you next Friday. Thank you.
See you next Friday. Good job.
Very good. Do we have another team that would like to volunteer?
he like ready. He like, yeah, I'm going. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. See, do I need to pay for the whole lot?
He's got it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you
Miss Betty still had it in her hand.
Okay.
Do do do.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Do, do, do. Hello.
My name is Roger. This is my partner for life, Sandy.
Oh.
And we are the local It Is Written representatives in this area. Here's my name tag. And we're responding to this request that you sent in. You are Mrs. Brown?
Oh, yes, I can see. Yes.
And we're here to bring you the first lesson. So this is about Revelation. And in this day and age, as confusing as everything is, this has a lot of answers to a lot of questions you may have. And they're all Bible verses in here also, so that's for you.
Thank you.
And is this a good time to come back next week and bring you another lesson?
Yes, what time would you be coming?
Well, if this is a good time for you right now at 7 o'clock, we'll be back.
Got it. No problem. Thank you. Good job.
Nice to meet you. Well, you got me now.
Oh, watering my flowers. Cleaning my bed. Oh, someone was me at the door.
Good
Hi.
afternoon. My name's Sandy, and this is my partner Roger, and we're the local It Is Written representatives. And we have a card here from Miss Betty Brown. Is that you?
Yes, that's
Okay, well,
me.
we'd like to bring you your first Bible study, and it's about Daniel.
Wow.
We think you'll really like it. Now, would this be a good time next week to stop by with your next lesson?
Can I ask you a question? Why would I like it?
Yeah, I forgot that. We really found it interesting, and I think you will too.
Yes.
It
And you,
answers a lot of questions.
thank you. And you were saying something about next week?
Yeah, would next week work for you about the same time?
Yes,
Okay,
that'll be
see
okay.
you then.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good job.
All right, Louis, if you'll do me a favor,
Yeah.
you'll make sure everybody gets one of these pads.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I'm gonna do a couple more slides. All right. Now, wasn't that fun? All right. Thank you. Oh, it's so fun. And the reality is many people will be kind of like blah. And some people, they'll seem in a hurry. And there'll be, every once in a while you get the one or two people that are like, hey, But there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, thank you so much for bringing this to me. Really appreciate that. And that I tend to find that the majority aren't the, go on, move on your way. The majority are kind of between no emotion and happy about your presence. So I just want to let you know this is a good experience you're going to have in most cases. If you're ready to give Bible studies, then instead of saying, is this a good time to bring another lesson? Say, is this a good time to come back next week? Look at the lesson together. We'll open up the Bible and do it together. Just say that question. So if that's something you're interested in, that's the question you want to ask. I've got it on the screen. Is this a good time next week to come by and look at this lesson together? We can open up the Bible together. Some people want that right then. Some people, they're like, and when they're in their mind, when they put the card in there, they were expecting a person to show up on their doorstep and study the Bible with them. That's the picture they had. Some people were expecting things to come through the mail, but there are a few out there that they were waiting on you to show up with the Bible and to help them. That's what they had in their mind, and it always blows my mind that's what they wanted, but that's what they wanted. So if you're interested in that, you go ahead and offer, because many people will say yes to it. Many people will say yes to that offer. So you offer it. You can also do the Zoom call offer these days. That's a great one. I do Zoom studies currently. It's been a learning experience for me, and I have found that I love it. I love it because I don't have to drive 30 minutes for someone not to show up. I have found that I can be in communication online with them regularly. And so we've developed an online communication thing where we not only meet, but we're texting and we're sending pictures and we share like Christian songs we've come across with each other throughout the weekend. And so it's really developed into a nice relationship. So I do like it. That's something you can offer. If they say no, some people are going to say, you're going to say, is this a good time next week? And they're going to say, no, this doesn't work for me. I'm usually at work right now. You just happened to catch me. I just took the day off. No, this doesn't work. So you'll need to ask them which day works better for them. And I like to give people not the Baskin-Robbins choice. Anybody ever go to Baskin Robbins? 31 flavors. Oh, it takes me forever. I never know which one I want. And then when I pick it, I sit down at the table and Roger has something different and I'm like, man, I should have got that one. That's a reality if you give people too many choices. Don't give them too many choices. Know that you want to come back on Tuesday and Thursday and say, hey, which day works better for you, Tuesday or Thursday? And they'll say, Tuesday. And then just ask them which time, 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, which one works better for you? And if they're like neither, say, hey, I got 3 and I got 4, which one works better? Just have another option. But give them those options so that you're in control of the time and so are they. You don't want them telling you a time that works that doesn't work for you. So you want both people to be making choices, you and them making choices on this, and everybody feels good about the decision. All right, keep your visit short and sweet, and leave. I know, some of us are like want to hang out, we want to go sit down, we want to have some coffee together and some tea, and we just made some new friends, and what's 45 minutes on Thursday evening? What's 55, an hour and a half? It's okay, except when you come back next week. And they're like, oh, it's them. I don't have an hour and a half. Close the blinds. Your first visit is going to set up in their mind how much of their time you're going to take each time you come. So keep it short so that they're really wanting a little more of your time rather than much less of your time.
First impressions are lasting.
That's right. And so that first time, keep it short and sweet, and we can add a little more time as we come back. The hardest part is not going to the home. It's not knocking on the door. It's not talking. The hardest part is finding someone home. Hardest part, because they didn't set up an appointment. They mailed in a card. And we're just trying to figure out when they're home. We don't know their schedule. We don't know when they go grocery shopping. We don't know when they go to prayer meeting. We don't know when they go to church. We don't know when they go to school or work or any of it. So we're just guessing based on what our schedule allows. And so we tried Thursday at 5, didn't work. So then we tried Wednesday at noon, didn't work. We tried Sunday at 1 in the afternoon and finally found someone, right? If no one answers that door, very important, just leave. Don't leave a note. Don't put the card on their door. Don't put the Bible study there. Just leave. This is important because Bible studies aren't about just getting Bible studies to people. It's about developing relationships. There's a reason we go in person, because relationships work. Relationships work. So try again later. If you leave a note or your phone number or any of that, you're a stranger and they're not sure what's up, and they're like some random person stopped by from It Is Written and left me their phone number. And they call you and say, hey, don't come by my house anymore. Because you freaked them out a little. They weren't sure what's all about. But when they meet you in person, you explain everything. And then they feel much more comfortable with it. So just so you're aware of that. And again, and again, and again, keep trying. We were in Boston. Has anyone ever visited Boston?
In a truck.
In a truck. Like a truck? Oh, I'm sorry. It is fun enough in a car. I prefer to walk, and I prefer to bus, and I prefer to take trains in Boston. The car, you need an hour to get 3 miles. So I feel sorry for you. We were in Boston doing this, and we had sent out a whole bunch of cards, and we had 75 back. And 75 cards we're following up on. And to travel around that town, like I said, takes a while. Well, we had this one guy that we were trying to find, and we were taking different turns. We were changing partners out, based on schedules. So I had went, my wife had went, and my friend Karen had went, and we had all paired up differently trying to find him. And we went, and he's not home, and we went, and he's not home, and we went, and he's not home. And it's like an hour getting to his house, and then we go, and he's not home, and we're like, what is going on? On the 8th time, he opens the door. He opens the door, and he is ecstatic. I've been waiting for these. You're finally here. You're finally here. And I always offer to sit down and study the Bible with the person. I do every time. I'm not even like, hey, can I drop this by next week? I'm like, hey, can we sit down and study the Bible next week? Every time. I always ask. That's what I want. And this guy's like, yes, let's study the Bible. Yes, yes. And he wants to do it outside in the back of his, he lives in like a little retirement community apartment center thing. Behind it is an outdoor table. And we show up the next week, and this guy's got 5 people from the community. He's went and invited everybody in the whole community. He's invited them, and these 5 have come, and they're coming to the Bible studies, and it's just amazing. So we've got this weekly Bible study with all of these people, week after week, and then one day, his name's David, he doesn't show up. It's not there. We're knocking on his door, no answer. We're calling him, no answer, just gone. Nothing. But we've got a group. So we keep studying the Bible week after week, right there in the back from all the people he gathered together. Week after week, we're studying the Bible. And my friend Karen gets to baptism, and David shows up. Just out of the blue, shows up at the Bible study. It's baptism. And at the end, he says, I want to be baptized. And she's like, what do I do? You missed all the stuff. That's great, David. Let's get started on that. And so started in that journey. And it just so happened that a good friend of ours named John Bradshaw was coming to town down the street. You know, we're getting ready for the meetings, right? He's coming to town. We're going to have meetings and we're going to go over all this stuff. And you'll want to come to those as part of getting ready for baptism. And so he comes to the meetings, and he's there, and he's bringing all the people he can get. We got this crew coming that we've been studying with all this time every night to the meetings with John and David. I got video of him on his baptism, and he's just so excited because he had lived a life he regretted. Everything about his life he had regretted. And he was so excited about a new life, about being born again, about having this experience of a new life finally. And he's baptized, and it was beautiful. And afterwards, I started going over there, and I taught David how to lead group Bible studies. So he would continue studying with all the people in his community. And he was just on fire. He's reading through Desire of Ages and Acts of the Apostles and Great Controversy. And he's just soaking it up. And the time came, we had to move, you know. The end of the year came, the meetings were over, and it's just our life. We moved on, and we just loved our friend. He's just such a good friend. We moved on, and we got a call just before Christmas that David was in the hospital. Some of the church members, he had made a lot of friends in the church, and he was in the hospital. He wasn't doing well. He had just collapsed one day. And he was in the hospital, and his organs were all shutting down on him. And turns out, what David didn't really share was the reason he disappeared in the middle of the Bible studies is that he had collapsed. See, David had been an alcoholic for most of his life, and it was catching up to him. So he had ended up in a hospital, and he had made the decision to get sober. So he had to go to a medical facility after that many years of drinking to be able to safely get off of alcohol. So he had went through that process, and then he had showed up for baptism Bible study. And he was so excited because he was already making these decisions privately with God. And then he went on this journey, and everything was great. And even though he had made these decisions and God had changed his desires and his hope and gave him freedom, those decisions still caught up with him. David didn't have family that was by his side because he had made every wrong decision his whole life. But he had finally made a decision that was right, and it was for Christ. And so when he was in the hospital, he was surrounded every day with people from his church, his family in Christ, who came and they would sing songs with him and they would pray with him. And my friend David fell asleep in the Lord. And I'm really excited about the day I get to see him again. He was a beautiful man.
How old when he got in?
I don't remember his exact age. It was 60s,
60s?
early 60s, yeah. And so just because someone doesn't answer, just keep going back. You might just meet someone like David. You might meet someone like him and many others that are looking hopefully, wistfully for the kingdom of God in their lives, looking to heaven, longing for more. Let me pray with you. Father, Lord, we've gathered here on Friday night. It's not Sabbath yet, but it is a joyous time. We've had fun. We've talked about sharing you. We've talked about meeting people. And this weekend is going to be filled with fun activities and fun practice and encouragement and getting sharpened in your hands, Lord. So we want to continue to ask for your Holy Spirit to be in our lives. Encourage us. Strengthen us for the work you have ahead. Strengthen us for the calling you have in our lives, Jesus. We love you so much. Lead us to those who are looking to you, looking for so much more out of this life. We pray this in your name, Jesus. Amen. Thank you for choosing to be here. Each session is programmed about 1 hour and a half, and we have kept to that tonight, and we will aim for that each session. You have a card there, and we'll highlight it a little bit tomorrow, but you can sign up and request our free magazine. And so if you want to sign up for that, it has stories going on around the world. If you're not familiar, we do lots of humanitarian efforts like Eyes for India. We do Eyes for India, if you've ever seen that, where it goes in, and I think it's like 90 seconds. He's got giving sight to the blind, doing the surgery on their eyes. And so we do all kinds of things like that. And we highlight those in the magazine we gave you. So if you're interested in getting that for free, just fill this out, return it to Lewis or I, and we'll make sure you get it for free. The last one you'll be getting, it has an article about my family. You can see my daughter. I'll show you pictures anyways. All right. Well, thanks for coming tonight. I really appreciate you. Anything else? We're not doing Sabbath school, but I am preaching. So who asked me if I'm doing children's story? I'm doing children's story. All right. And I'm preaching, and then Lewis has the afternoon session tomorrow, so you'll be done with my voice for a little while. And thank you so much. We are meeting Sunday. The times have been adjusted from the flyer. They've been adjusted from that flyer. And so we're going to start at 1:30 will be our first session instead of our last session on Sunday. And then we'll do a Monday night. 6 o'clock on Monday as well. And so there will be a 1:30 and like 3:30 or 4. We had a break in there for a lunch. I don't know if we're going to still make it longer, but it was a little longer than normal. Yeah. Okay. It's going to be a fun weekend. If you had any fun here, you just wait. We're going to have more fun than this. It just gets more. All right. Well, God bless you. I hope that your Sabbath is really wonderful. And if you want more calendars, the year's running out. You can take as many as you like.